Apple kicked off its annual Worldwide Developers Conference in San Jose, California, Monday afternoon. CEO Tim Cook made some big hardware and software announcements. CNET senior editor Ashley Esqueda is in Burbank and joins me now. So, Ashley, the big takeaway seems to be the new HomePod speaker. On Twitter, you indicated you'd be sticking with Sonos. Is the HomePod doing anything differently than the other smart speaker offerings on the market?
So I think this is sort of the same type of thing we see from Apple a lot of the time. They sort of get into a piece of hardware a little bit later than a couple of other companies. So here we have, Google is in the game with Google Home. We have Amazon with its Echo products. And then we also have just home speaker products like Sonos. And so Apple's trying to sort of combine those two things and say, not only are we making this great, home assistant that has Siri available on it, but it can also compete in the way of great audio quality, just like a product like Sonos. So I think they're trying to combine those two things. And HomePod does allow you to pair speakers. You can keep adding speakers if you have a few of them in the house. I'm guessing they'll be able to all be linked together. You can play music just like a Sonos system where you can say, okay, I want to play this song in this room, or I want to play the same song in all rooms. But you'll also have access to Siri without any sort of separate device. So HomePod you'll be able to talk to it, tell it, hey, Siri, ask it whatever you want. You could say, who's singing this song? Who plays drums on this song? That was one of the examples they gave today at WWDC. So informational, but also that combination of really high quality audio as well.
Interesting to see. All right, the other big news from the conference, Amazon's Prime Video service is coming to Apple TV. What's your take on that, Ashley?
This is a really great move, not only for Apple, which this has been a service or a channel that a lot of people have been asking for on Apple TV, but also for Amazon, because Amazon is moving into a lot of really great original programming. And so this is a great way for Amazon to get even more people to, number one, subscribe to Prime so that they can get Prime Video, and then two, watch its original content. So this is definitely a big win for Apple. I know that for a while there was a little tension, so maybe we'll even see Apple TV for sale on Amazon. But for now, even though Amazon Prime Video is going to come to Apple TV still doesn't support 4K video. So here at WWDC today, they did mention that they would be discussing Apple TV and TV OS later this year, which I think is a pretty good, you could make the assumption that maybe they'll be announcing a 4K HDR box sometime later this year.
Yeah, it would seem so. All right, well, Apple unveiled updates of existing tech, including new versions of the iPad, iMacs, and MacBooks. The company also says it's updating a lot of software, including iOS and watchOS. What kind of new functionality can users expect, and does any of it justify upgrading from older models?
Well, this was definitely one of Apple's longest keynotes. It was over 2 hours long.
Wow.
So there were a lot of updates today. Updates to hardware, like you said, the iPad has a new iPad Pro. You're going to be able to get it in a 10.5-inch form factor. They have folders now on iPad. iOS 11 was a really big deal. They're saying on iOS 11, which you'll be able to upgrade to if you have a current Apple device, better Siri. It'll have translate capabilities. There'll be some machine learning that will integrate the things that you read or see or search for into the operating system itself. Synced iCloud, iMessages. There'll be iMessage payments. So if you're used to apps like Square Cash or Venmo, they'll have something integrated into iMessage where you're able to just pay a friend right in your text message chain, which is pretty cool. There's a brand new control center. I mean, there are a lot of different types of software and hardware upgrades that Apple's going for. Every year at WWDC, there's always a laundry list of new things. They're also, as they always do, upgrade OS 10. So High Sierra is the name of the new OS 10 upgrade for Mac. And one of the things that I thought was really great was they're doing something called HEVC and HEIF, which are compression, their compression ability for video and photos. So Apple sort of knows, ooh, gosh, like taking these 4K videos on your iPhone takes up a lot of space, right? So they're using new compression to be able to give a little bit of that space back, so without much loss of quality, which I think will be really handy for anybody who's maybe got an older iPhone and hasn't quite upgraded yet, or if you just are like me and you take a lot of photos and a lot of video and you're just like, gosh, I wish I just had more space.
Yeah, or if you're like me, if you haven't upgraded and you have a lot that you take. So, all right,
yeah, exactly.
CNET Senior Editor Ashley Esqueda. Ashley, thanks a lot. Really appreciate it.
Oh, thanks for having me.